Today, I'm going to walk you through how I set my goals. Now, I started setting goals around 2017, and the biggest area that I've seen progress in is travel, which you may have already seen from my channel. But goals have also helped me in other areas of my life, such as mindset, self care, and even updating my style. I want to encourage you to live life now and to make the most of where you are, what you have, and who you're with. And in order to do that, it means living life with intention. Now, according to Dr. Gail Matthews, you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down, which is a huge jump. And just as your reminder, creating and following goals doesn't mean that everything's perfect, it just means that there's progress. So let's get into how I actually set goals. I like to get a big picture perspective of everything and divide my life into categories. So let's jump into how I set goals. Let's start with physical health, because that is a big area where I want to grow this year. So I'm going to start off with, how do I want to feel by accomplishing these goals that I'm about to write down? This year, I want to feel healthy, strong, and energized for myself and others. That's how I want to feel. That's my reasoning behind setting these goals in the first place. So, what will stay the same if I do not accomplish these goals? I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but I will feel I don't really feel unhealthy, but I do feel weak. I will feel weak and have low energy. Both of those are true. I'm going to say for myself and others, because it's not all about us. All right. And then when things don't seem to be going as I'd hoped, what will I remember? We're going to come back to this at the end. And for right now, we're going to jump straight into goals. So, what is one of the goals that I have in this area? Like I said, I am weak. I realized that earlier this year when I helped a friend take docks out of the water. I already knew I was weak, but that just proved it. So I need to work out more, but I am not one to exercise. So I'm going to make it really easy for myself and just say, move my body every morning, including stretches and wall angels. I've been told I need to do those, and I'm not very good at keeping up with that. But I know how to do them, and it's very easy, would be very easy for me to just go right into it. So another goal that I have is to take daily vitamins and supplements. So these are just a few of my goals in the physical health category. And so I'm going to take those goals and break it down into simple, keyword on simple, action steps. So one of my action steps is going to be to lay my yoga mat out at night with stretch bands, because I have both. They're all under my bed. I can easily pull it out. And if I have it out, then it's just a mental reminder to actually do it. So these simple action steps are just to make it easier to actually achieve your goal. What do I need to do first or next in order to get to my goal? So for take for daily vitamins and supplements, I'm going to break that into, I need to decide what vitamins and supplements to take. I already have an idea about a few because, again, I've been told I should take certain things and I haven't yet. So after that, I would need to buy vitamins and supplements. Again, this seems very straightforward, but that's what makes goals attainable, is breaking it down into as easy and as small chunks as possible so that you actually take action. So this has all been the journal part where it's a little easier to think through how I want to feel and what my goals actually are. Now let's jump up to the tracker where I keep myself accountable for my goals. So in the tracker, we have different categories like in the journal. Let's choose the category, which is physical. And let's add in the goals that I just created. I'm actually just going to copy and paste. Move my body every morning, including stretches and wall angles. Wall angels, not angles. And then I'm also going to add physical. And again, just copy and paste. Take daily vitamins and supplements. Now, this is a very important part. Most of us try to start all of our goals on January 1st, and then we get worn out very quickly. So I'm going to stagger my goals throughout the year. With the first goal, I can start it early on. That's a fairly attainable goal, although I'm probably not going to start it on the very 1st of January. I'm going to start it on January 5th. And then because I want to see the whole length of time that I'm doing that goal, I'm going to put an end date as December 31st. There we go. And then for take daily vitamins and supplements, I'm going to start that later. Because again, I got to take a few action steps to actually start doing that goal. So I'm going to put that goal 2 weeks later on the 19th. And again, I'm going to put an end date of December 31st so that it goes for the whole year. And then as I do these different goals, I can just check off and it will show me my progress over here. Same with this one. And I want to show you two things. Since I did the timeline here and I set start dates and end dates, I can go to the timeline tab and see when in the year I'm doing those different ones, and I can move them around. So let's just move that one up there. This one's down there, so that way I can see what I'm starting first and then next. And so I'm not starting everything all at once. And then we've got the status tab here that shows what's not started. And then we can move it over to in progress. And that updates over here in the tracker. Now with these trackers, I have one for weekly goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals, and then one-time to-dos. Now, a cool thing with the weekly and monthly tracker is that every week, if I want, I can keep an archive of every week of the entire year by just copying and pasting the database into my archive. So I'm going to show you quickly how to do that. Just going to come here and just going to select it and Control-C, copy. Then I'm going to go up here to the Open Tracker Archive and put it under the correct week and paste it. So now I've got a record of my progress. And then after that, this is my favorite button. I can quickly reset all these check marks for the next week or month. So if I go up here, reset weekly goals, yes, I want to. And then it reset all of my trackers so that it's a clean start again. Since goals are so much about mindset and intention, I also have a monthly reflection area where I can check in on myself and see if I need to give myself more grace in a certain area, or if I need to shift my mindset or change things for the next month. And then lastly, I'm going to go back to that journal entry part that I mentioned earlier, which is really key to all of this. So if you remember that area that said, when things don't seem to be going as I'd hoped, what will I remember? That takes us to this opening part. I am a Christian, so God is at the forefront, or should be at the forefront, of my life and everything. Here I'll write out what I know to be true about God. He's a provider, He's a comforter. What I know to be true about myself, and then how I can make the most of where I am, what I have, and who I am with. So, where I am as far as location and making the most of that, which is Austin, Texas. Where I am in life, which is single, and making the most of that. What I have, which are skills or assets, and then who am I with, whether that be friends or family. So, this is just a quick picture to ground yourself into, again, who God is, who you are, and really be content with the things that you already have. If you want to get more into goal setting yourself, I've created this free Notion template that you can access in the description. It's a template so you can customize it as much as you want and make it really fit you. Thank you for watching. I hope you live life now and make the most of this year.